Test, test, test. Come. God, do your thing, brother. Bear with us just a moment. All right. Most High Christ, Shalom, Yahabashim, Yahshua, Barakatah. To all the brothers, it's like a thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemar, Thumb, Bashim, Yahushua. To the sisters, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, home, New York, under command of General Yohana. You understand? We out here in Durham, North Carolina. Salaki for the delay. Had some difficulties, you know what I'm saying? But we we in here. So of course it's Friday in Lashawan Qadash class. Due to being over the time, we're gonna get, be doing late. We're gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Salakia. Whichever one, you know which one yellow was last week.
We use the yellow.
I didn't even get to the other one, right?
No, not that I know of.
So that one should be good.
No, they did switch.
They switched.
They did
Charge the
switch.
black one first. Yeah, charge the black one first. If that one is working so well. Hopefully it's not doing the same thing. And also, when you just unplug that one and see if maybe plugging it back in will help, because that's weird. You know what I mean? Salakia. So of course, it's being a Lashawan Qadash class, Hebrew class. That's what we're gonna get right into. You know what I'm saying? So again, Salakia for the delay. So last week we did Romans 16 and 17, 1 John 2 and 19. We talked about the fake Hebrew Shalawamers. We talked about them. Shalom, of course, is not a greeting. We proved that. Both of them doing it. Even when it's not plugged in. Take it off the leads off the thing. Yeah, calm. Most High Christ. Yeah, we debunked and showed that Shalom is not a greeting. And it's, from what I'm understanding, it seemed like our message might have been getting out there. You know what I'm saying? There's been a steady decrease in Shalawamers throughout the nation. All right. Then we talked about prepositions and possessives, and that's what we were going to stick with today. That's today's topic. The prepositions and the possessives, right? Prepositions, of course, being these prepositioned letters or phrases that attach to the beginning of a Hebrew word. And again, they all don't function the same. Okay. So all of them would not function the exact same way prepositions function in English. How do we know that? How do we prove that? What's an example of a prepositional function in English that doesn't cross over to Hebrew? Can anyone think of an example? Mm-hmm. Then yeah, leave it be. Right. Yeah, so whichever one was used first, leave that on. Is that one charging correctly? Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Yeah, leave that on. We'll leave that on for the duration of the class. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll report it. Okay. That's no problem at all. So yeah, these prepositions, right? We're gonna get right into it. We're not gonna waste no time because we started so late. Let's get right into the prayer, right? Because this is what we want to use. We want to use these. And the example that I was thinking about was the ma, right? Because we did it right here. We talked about the usage of the ma and how we use the ma. That's important to understanding this language. We want to know how we use it, when to use it, and when not to use it. You understand? That's what we want to do. We don't want to use the ma in the way you can't try to cross over. So basically what I'm saying is this, right? So I'm gonna erase some of the stuff in the middle here, right? We also remember this Lashawan Qadash breakdown. We're gonna keep that up there. Let me get my eraser, right? Let me get my eraser real fast and show you this what I'm basically getting at. Right? So we know the Y in the middle of a word forms the ing. Lashawan means tongue. But the Y in the middle of the word becomes Lashawan. It becomes a verb, right? It becomes an action, a continuous action word. With Qadash, which means holy, it becomes holy speaking or holy language or holy tongue, right? Well, check this out. This is what I was saying, and that's important for our understanding moving forward with these prepositions because we're going to use them a lot. Like, I mean, this is going to be our best friend. We've been talking about it a lot. They got so many different ways you can use them and so many different important functions within a sentence in Hebrew. We got to stick with it. We got to. You understand? Now, right. So what I mean is this, right? So I'm writing all these words here. You see all of these words. You see all these English words, right? In conjunction with these Hebrew words, right? You see all these. So you'll see right here, like you'll see the ha. You say ha is the, right? So we'll say Hebrew, right? And we'll say English, right? Ha is the. Yah is he, right? La is two or four. And you got ma is of or from, right? But what we have to understand is that this is a simplified form. You follow me? This is a simplification of the connection between these words. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by it's a simplification? You turn it on. Is it on? There you go.
Test. It's like you're talking about. It's like the simplest form of expression, or like the lower common denominator.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to put it. It's the lowest common denominator. Count. Make sure the audio is good. It's the lowest common denominator. Just meaning that it's the best way, the easiest way to describe the relationship between the language that we know and the language we're trying to learn. It's the easiest way. Everyone knows what the is used for. He, to, for, of, from. And to make it easier for you, we do the lowest common denominator and show the Hebrew word that corresponds to said English word. But is this 100% accurate, Yanazor? No. Why is he saying that? Now, are we saying that, oh, what we're teaching up here ain't the truth, and that ha doesn't mean the? No, that's not what we're saying. What do we mean when we say it's not 100% accurate?
Because there's times when we can use those, and there's times that we don't have to use them at all in this context.
Right. The best way to put it is that Hebrew is Hebrew. English is English. Give me what I want in the Apocrypha real fast. We usually start the class with that. I wasn't going to read no scriptures, but it's so appropriate. Right? Hebrew is Hebrew. English is English. We cannot ever never forget that. Hebrew is Hebrew. English is English. They're not the same language. Things don't always correspond exactly in the way we're used to using them within the English language. It can't be because we're not speaking English. You got that, Yanazor? Read that, brother.
Wherefore, let us entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words.
Pardon us where we may seem to have come short of some words. Ask anybody. Now I'm gonna do my little educational thing. There's a famous writer from Argentina. What was his name? Something with a B. I cannot remember his name. But anyway, I remember reading it in college. There's a story, and a big part of that story is about him translating a book and him having a difficult time translating. Now, he's translating from, I believe he was translating from Spanish into French or something like that. The point being, when you take a language and translate it to another language, you're going to run into some problems. Because there's going to be what? There's going to be words that don't correspond. It's just the nature of the beast. There's going to be grammatical changes, linguistic changes. There's going to be some words that can't exist because the culture is so different. Remember, not only do we speak English, we speak what? Modern English. We don't even speak. How many people say they can't even read the Bible because it says thou? People will tell you with a straight face, yeah, I can't read that Bible, all the thou and the thus. I got to read the NIV. Go ahead, Yanazor.
I heard in Vietnam or Laos, one of them countries over there, they don't have a word for fat or overweight. Wow. Because they never was nobody overweight or fat.
Yeah, they don't, just conceptually, they don't have that concept.
Yeah.
Again, language is cultural. Language is a cultural phenomenon. So a language is tethered to the people who spoke it. You understand? So again, in our English language, in our modern English language, we have words that Shakespeare wouldn't understand. Think about basic words that we use every day that Shakespeare who spoke what Shakespeare spoke would be called modern English as well. That's the funny part. Shakespeare didn't speak Middle English and he didn't speak Old English. He spoke modern English. Yeah, on paper, linguistically, that's what Shakespeare spoke, right? But say to Shakespeare the word internet or television. Say the word car. He would be like, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean? Like he wouldn't be able to and Shakespeare was a black man, by the way, make sure I say that. But he wouldn't know what you're talking about. You understand? And so these things don't always overlap exactly the same. That's really what we're getting at here. Read that part again.
Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words.
He knew that, yeah, we did our best, but it's not going to be perfect. Go ahead.
Which we have labored to interpret.
We have label. We worked real hard to interpret this. Go ahead.
And translated into another tongue.
Say
Salakia. For the same things uttered in Hebrew.
For the same things what?
Uttered in Hebrew.
For the same things said in Hebrew. So we're not just making this up. We're reading this out of the Bible. For the same things uttered in Hebrew. Ha, ya, la, ma. Go ahead.
And translated into another tongue.
And what?
Translated into another tongue.
The, he, to, for, of, from. Go ahead.
Have not the same force.
They don't have the what?
The same force.
They don't have the same force in them because these are not the same languages. Ha is ha. Ya is ya. La is la. Ma is ma. We're just using the closest corresponding thing in English. Sometimes that works really well. Sometimes it's almost a perfect match. Ha and the is almost a perfect match. Right? Ma over from is very close, but we have to be a little careful. Which is what we were talking about last week, which is what I wanted to get to real quick, was this right here. The ma describes origin, or that something is a part of something else. That's what ma works as. Why am I saying that? Because in English, you have different forms of the preposition of. Yes, in English, of can be a preposition of origin, just like in Hebrew. You can say, I'm of the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I can say, you know what I'm saying? I am a man of New York, or this is similar to saying I am from New York. I can say I am, she is, let's see. I can say she is of the, she is of the world. She's of the world or from the world. That she's a part of that, or she has come out of that thing. Sometimes you see in the Bible where it says, you know, he had come out of the far country, meaning he was in that country, but then he left. It's talking about origin. It's talking about origin. Right? Where something was originally and came out of it, was part of something. That is how ma is used in Hebrew. However, in English, you also have what? You have what is called a preposition of connection, which works similar to a connecting verb. As in, he is old. She is tall. That's a connecting verb. That is in that sentence. Of works in the same way in some English phrases. The house of blues. Why is that not of origin? Why is that not describing the same thing? Because in the case of house, if you got the house of blues, right? Remember, the thing that comes after the of, this thing is supposed to be from this. Originally have been a part of this. It comes out of this. But in this sense, house, so the house came out of the blues? No. It just means that this thing is connected to, it's a house that has something to do with some blues. It's a place where blues gets played. The of here is just for the purpose of connecting these two nouns, house and blues. So no, we don't have this in Hebrew. You know, we don't have that. That's why, again, we gave the great example of where it says the house of David. House, noun. David, proper noun, but still a noun. And what do we say? We don't say Bayath ma dawada. We say Bayath dawada. House, in English, it would translate as house David. You understand? But we know that, again, the of here is just simply implied in all of our writings. We don't have to have a word for it here to connect nouns. We don't have to have special words to connect nouns in Hebrew. Not in this context, all right? Just wanted to point that out. All righty. All right. Now let's see some of these pronouns. Excuse me, these prepositions in action. Let's see that. Let's see what that looks like. We're going to go to Numbers chapter 6, verse 22. I'll read through 27. We're going to read a prayer. Uh, 22. Numbers chapter 6, verse 22.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 22. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 23, speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel.
On this what?
From this wise.
On this wise, meaning in this way. That's what on this wise means. Go ahead.
Saying unto them, verse 24, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. Verse 25, the Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Verse 26, the Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Verse 27, and they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, let's break this down and let's see how these prepositions work here, right? So let's go to it in blue letter, right? Or if you, again, of course, if you have an interlinear Bible app on your phone, you can use that as well. Okay. My app is bugging. So lock you. What the heck? Man, my phone is doing some weirdness. Salakia, bear with me just a moment. My phone is just doing something very weird. You got on blue letter, bro? Why is my phone doing this? No, swear, I might have to do it on this laptop. Salakia. Salaki. You know what? Matter of fact, if I can see your phone, Salaki, because I can't. My phone is being weird. I don't know what that's about. The water, brother. Okay, we're gonna scroll down to verse 6, Numbers chapter 6 and verse 24. So we're gonna write it in Assyrian. Salaki. Okay. So we're gonna deal with verse 24 first, okay? And I'm gonna, if I could, let me use your phone just to show them because my phone's being ridiculous, right? But if you read it in English, it says, "The Lord bless thee," or you can say Yahweh. Really, it says Yahweh. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. So right there. Again, this is the first part of the anointing prayer, right? Yahweh bless thee and keep thee, right? And it reads in Hebrew, Yabaraka Yahweh, Wayashamaraka, right? That's the first part, right? We're going to deal with that real quick because there's some prepositions there that make this make sense. What? So who can spot the first one? In verse 26. Sorry, 25. I wrote 20, no, 24. In verse 24. God. You good? Yeah, Baraka. Baraka. Mm-hmm. Well, the first one really is not a preposition as much as it is a possessive, right? So we talked literally within the past few weeks about the fact that the possessive doesn't only mean a possessive pronoun, it could also be used as a regular pronoun, right? As in, so the ka as a suffix, as a possessive means your, right? Or thy, like your thy coat, thy name. But it could also mean you or thee. And that's what's happening here, right? Now, why it says the Yah at the beginning of Barak, I got to get clarification on that because it doesn't mean he. It doesn't. Let's see if it breaks it down. Sometimes it does give you the whole inflection. It just says bless thee. Third person, masculine, singular. So I think it is a third person masculine singular, but it does not actually say he. Oh, I think I get it. Khan. Okay, so in this context, it is he, but like him, right? Like he will bless you, Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like you follow? It's kind of weird, but think about how our language works. It's almost the same way how the beginning of a lot of sentences will say what? We'll say Waya Amar, Masha, and he said Moses. It doesn't mean that someone said something to Moses. Moses is the he. Waya Shamar, excuse me, Waya Debar, Slakia. Waya Debar, Masha. Waya Debar, knock. Waya Debar, Yawasap, Ya Allah. Yawasap, Waya Debar, you understand? And he said, and then that person's name. The he being that person. That's the same thing happening here. Ya Baraka, Yahweh. Because we're not saying bless the Most High, we're asking the Most High to bless the person we're talking to. The ka here is the you, second person, right? Ya Baraka, Yahweh. Yahweh bless thee, right? So that's what that means. And remember, didn't we say that before in class? When we greet a brother, we say what? But we said you could ask a brother to be blessed in a less formal way by saying the ka at the end, baraka. We've seen it right here in the scriptures, in our own prayer. So Yah baraka Yahweh means he bless you, Yahweh, right? He will bless you, or may he bless you, Yahweh, right? So what we're seeing, so then the Yah, we're seeing that the Yah here is what? He. The Ka is what? You. Exactly. He bless you, Yahweh. Yahweh bless you. Then it says, Waya Shamarka. What prefixes and suffixes are being used here? Oh, I actually misspelled this. Again. Right? Waya Shamarka. You said and he, right? And we'll see the same thing again. And if you look on the blue letter, if you go to the blue letter and you go to, again, the interlinear, the way they have it now, the forward inline, which means interlinear. See it there. Yabaraka, Yahweh. These right there. Wa, Yashamar, Ka. And if we look at the breakdown of it, we'll see again, there's 3 parts to it. And you can see the code for each part. The code for the first part, you see it there? It says HC. Conjunction. Because this wa is the end. Right? And then this ya right here is the same thing. And what does shamar mean? Right, or to keep, but in the sense again of protection. Right? May he watch over you, keep you, like say, keep you safe. Think of it like that. Lord, may the Lord keep you safe. So that root right there, that's their root, your shamar. Why is shamar ka again? And go back to this ka, it's gonna go right here. It's the same thing. Ka, you. He bless you, Yahweh, and he watch you, and he keep you. You understand? So we're seeing these prepositions at work and these suffixes utilized in the exact way we said they could be used. All right. You got a question? Yeah. So let's go to the next one. The next verse. You gotta write something down for me, or you good? Okay. Now we're gonna go to verse 25. Okay, 25.
Okay, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 25 in the Hebrew. Ya'ar, Yahweh, Panyawa, Aliyaka, Wayakanaka, or Wayakanka. Wayakanka.
Now right here, we're gonna see some real good stuff for our Hebrew when we're reading the Sabbath service. Right, we're gonna see some real good stuff right here. Because I know that Al be throwing brothers off because it threw me off. It's like, damn, should I say Al or Allah? I don't want to sound like a Muslim. We're doing everything in the Assyrian, right? Because that's what, of course, you know what I'm saying, we reading in the Sabbath service. So we just kind of trying to keep it consistent. That's why we only writing in the Assyrian, not really, you know what I'm saying, worry about the ancient right now. All right. So now we see Ya'ar Yahweh, Punyawa, Al Yaka, Wayakunka. I can actually make this a little bit better. Salakia. I don't want to confuse the viewers. It's a little bit better. Come. Ya'ar Yahweh, Punyawa, Al Yaka, Wayakunka, which translates to the second part of the prayer, which is what? The second part of the prayer. From there it says Ya'ar Yahweh. That's exactly what it says. It's the and keep thee. Select, bear with me. Right? Yahweh make his face. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Right? Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Again, notice the use of the prepositions and the suffixes all around to make it make sense. So the first part here, like I said, there's some good stuff for the brothers reading in the Sabbath service as well, right? The first word here is Ya'ar. Ya'ar. I hope everybody's paying attention, right? Because again, the wording or the order of the words in Hebrew is usually, it doesn't always correspond exactly with the English. So Ya'ar actually means to shine, right? Ya'ar means to shine. But again, if we click on it, we see here, if you not paying attention, you'll miss it. But you'll see that code, and when you see the long, go to the code, right? And that right there at the bottom where it says long, you'll see what it says. It says Hebrew verb Hifil Joseph. Then it says third person masculine singular. Third person masculine singular. The root word is actually a war. A war is the root word for shine or shining. But here it becomes R. You understand? The Y is taken out, and it becomes R. R is the root here. My phone chooses to be weird again. Meaning he will shine, or he shines. Watch this, right? Now, I hope y'all paying attention. This is not for no reason. All of these things connect. So we already got this Yah here. This Yah is what? He, or his, or better yet, he. Right. He shines. Right? So he's going to circle all of them. He shines, Yahweh. Then it says Punyawa. That word should be very familiar to anyone in the Isupk. Do you think? He shines, Yahweh. Or he makes to shine. He makes shine. Yahweh. Punyawa. The root word here is punya. Punya means to face. We say it all the time in the prayer. We say it all the time when we about to pray, right? The brother who's called up, what does he say? What does he say? He says punya. He says Salaki. What do he say? He say at the beginning, what's going on, bro? Okay. He say when a brother comes up to the front, you know what I'm saying, after the announcements, I majim. Then he'll say wa punya kwadum. Wa punya kwadum, which means what? Wa meaning and, saying punya meaning face and kwadum meaning east, and face east. That's what punya means. So when we say ala wa punya, we translate it to mean that a general is on deck, but the literal translation is that is face the general. Right? General present, or general face him. Or yeah, general present. It means both present and to face something. Basically like you're looking at something. Okay? So it says, we got Yah, Ya'ar, he shines, or he makes to shine, Yahweh, Punya meaning face. So what? But it also literally means face. It literally means face too. So when we say Punyawa, based on what we know about prefixes and suffixes and prepositions and possessives, what does Punyawa mean if this is the root? Punya is the root, means to face. When you put a Y at the end of that, that's when you put the Y in the middle, close. When you put the Y in the middle of a word, it becomes action. What does it mean when you put the Y at the end of a root? For right? Possessive for what? What's the word? What's the word for my? Or what's the suffix for my? But in Hebrew, how would we say my face? If punya is face, how would we say my face? How I say my son? My name. To say my, we use ya at the end of a word. Right? My son, Banya. My name, Shamya. My brother, Akya. You understand? So if I wanted to say my face, I would say Panyaya or Panyaya. Put the ya twice. Panyaya. Face, that is mine, my face. Or that could also mean what? Face me. Panyaya. That sounds smooth too. I can't front. Like how that sound. You would think that them yas wouldn't go together, but they do. Panyaya could mean my face, or it could mean face me, depending on the context. Right? But Panyawa, the wa at the end is what? His or he. It means his face. So we can circle this one too. Right? The wa at the beginning of a word means what? The wa in the middle of a word means what? Right, ing, an action word. The wa at the end of a word means his or he. It could also mean it, if I'm not mistaken. So here we have your R, right? He shines, or he makes shine, Yahweh, his face. Now here's a good tidbit for the Sabbath service, because I know y'all brothers, that's not to, I'm saying, to distance myself, because I had the same issue for a very long time. I wonder, well, am I supposed to say that? Should I say that? Don't be afraid to say Allah when you're reading it, when you see the right combination of letters, because sometimes it does mean Allah. Because what does Allah mean in Hebrew? Is Allah a word in Hebrew? No, see, that's the difference. We not Muslim. Muslims believe Allah is God. That's his name. They call their God Allah. Do we call our God Allah in here? No. Allah is just a Hebrew word. Of course, we know Arabic comes from Hebrew. They're closely related languages. It just means power. Allah is literally in the name Israel. It would be weird for us to be like, you can't say Allah, but then say Yasha Allah. Yawasap ya Allah. Zayan ya Allah. It would be weird. All of those names have the word Allah in it, which means the power. Right? Or the Most High. So you're right. You're not wrong when you said Most High, Yanazar. I just want to make sure we make that separation. Now, we didn't here don't say Allah does not mean the Most High. It does not mean, it's not the Lord's name. But we use it to refer to the power, right? At times. Right? But sometimes you'll see it and you'll be like, I don't know if, because guess what? If you were to say Alayaka, that would not mean what this word means here. Alayaka would be like your power. You understand? But the word here, if we read it, Yahweh make his face shine upon thee. Upon thee. And when we go to it, let's go to it in our interlinear on blue letter, and we'll see it right there. See? You see the Panyawa? His face. Then go over. What that say? Upon thee. You see that? Upon thee. This is not Allah Yaka. This is Al Yaka, right? The root word here is Al, not Allah. It's Al, which means damn it. Come on, phone. You got on your phone, Giannis, because my joint is acting weird. Actually, no, I'm about to just get it in the blue letter in the actual book. Now, I figure it's a good opportunity just to use this. I don't use this as much as I should. And we know that it's H413. Okay, H413. Let's see what H413 means. See? There you go, just like that. H413. Okay, here we go. Al, but used only in this shortened construct form. Al, a primitive particle, properly denoting motion towards. Nothing about power here. The one for power is H410. You understand? But this one, H413, says properly denoting motion towards, but occasionally used of a quiescent position, near, with, or among. Often in general, to. You understand? I wonder if this is related to the law. Ask Hazahab about that. But you can see it right there. Right? See that? All. Right? Near, with, among, often, in general, to. Unto, upon. See that? Unto, upon. So when you read it in this, and you gotta, this is why I always say, when you read it in that Sabbath service, if you can, if you know you're gonna be reading, try to read them scriptures ahead of time. And just get familiar with that scripture is saying. Because if we knew ahead of time that it says Yahweh make his face shine upon thee, then we would never say Allah Yahweh. We know it's not Allah. It can't be. We know that. There's no word in this sentence for power. Right. There you exactly. And that's why in our prayer it says Al Yahweh, Pan Yahweh, Al Yaka. You think this was written by idiots who don't know what they're doing? It says Al Yaka for a reason, because it's Al. That's the root word. Pan Yahweh, Al Yaka. Why? And then let's also not forget that this Al Yaka is Al Yaka, unto thee. Here the Ya and the Ka to come together, but we'll just put the Ka because that's the main part, right? So we have the Ka meaning thee. And we'll say beginning of word. Oh, no, I should just write prefix. Let's just write prefix, keep it simple. Prefix, wa. Suffix. And this ka is also a suffix. Right? Al Yaka. Then the last part says Waya Kunka. Right? Yakun, right? Because again, here we have a change. The root word is kanun. Kanun. You understand? Kanun, which means mercy or gracious, merciful. but it's been changed to why yakunka and be gracious unto thee. Really, it's saying, and he will be gracious to you. The ka at the end again. So we got a bunch. We got your all Yahweh, Punyawa, al Yaka. Then we got wa yakunka. The wa is end, ya is he, and the ka is you. And he gracious to or gracious to you. Yeah, gracious to you. Or and he will be gracious to you. So also see we got to put that here. We got the wa meaning and as a prefix. If we take all of these away, we would just have a bunch of root words. That's all we would have. Root words, root words, root words. All right, let's see if we can't finish this one. All right, next part. And we're just gonna see these throughout. You good here, Yanazor? Okay. Now we have verse 26. Read it in the Hebrew first, Yanazor. There you go. Yasha'ah. Seeing some similar things again. There you go. Interesting. See now, don't worry. We're gonna deal with that. I'm gonna separate this so you can see. A little. Okay, I'm probably gonna end it with this one, but check it out. So let me write the English too. Slovakia. If I got enough space. numbers. Lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. Can. Now again, so what prefixes and suffixes can we identify? So the first part, Yasha'ah, again, is going to do the same thing. We're going to see that same preposition. It comes from Nasha'ah, but the Ya turns it into third person masculine singular. Again. Right. Yasha'ah. The root word meaning lift. Right? So he lift the Lord, or he will lift the Lord, or Yahweh, right? He will lift the Most High, Yahweh, his countenance or his face. We saw that before. How do you say his face? Or his countenance? Same phrase, same thing. How do you say his face? There you go, exactly. And that's what we see. Panyawa. And then the same thing upon thee. How do you say upon thee here? Mm-mm. We just talked about how you look at it and you might think it's something else. You look at it and you might think that, you see these letters and you might think it means the Most High. Exactly. Exactly. So like I'm switching these. Black. Be done in a second. Ka, but Punyawa, Alyaka, right? Right? Upon thee. Mm-hmm. Which one? Okay. Kanye, the water. Upon thee, his face or his countenance upon thee. So it's making sense so far, right? He will lift, or he lifts, Yahweh, his face upon thee, right? And then why at the beginning? And here the root word for give is yasham, or it's really shawam, but it becomes yasham. He gives, right? Again, and he gives. Now, if you read it in the prayer, sometimes you'll see lakah attached, but lakah is actually its own couplet, its own thing by itself. What does lakah mean? Lakah, I know it's gonna confuse everybody because you can't see it too well. No, it means lakah means to you. La, why do we know that? Because again, la means to, and ka at the end means what? You. That's what lakah means. You can literally just put a la and a ka together. La still at the beginning, the ka at the end, to you. We talked about that one before too, just a couple of weeks ago. We talked about how you can say lakah and say to you, la wa to him, la ya to me. Right? So that last person, when it says why yasham lakah, it means and he gives to you, or and he will give to you. And of course, the last word is peace. When you see it in the scriptures, you might see that wa in there. Ignore that. It is shalom, meaning peace. Yeah. Most High in Christ. So next week we're gonna build off more of this, get some more complex stuff, and again we're gonna do what we've been doing. We're gonna try to make our own sentences and see if we can find scriptures that prove that we can word it just like that. We got so many different ways to say things now. This is the blueprint right here. These prefixes and suffixes are the blueprint to everything that we're gonna be saying. All right. Is there any questions in the room? The hell is that? It's tape. Most High in Christ, Khan. So yeah, so next week that's what we're gonna be on. But with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Overseer Yanazar.
Okay, security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, verses 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, just 2 weeks away, y'all. I mean, we got to get it together. We got to get everything together now, man. You know what I mean? The 53rd annual Passover, the Lord's Passover, April 15th, well, 13th through the 15th, right? What are we saying, 15th through the 16th? Or just the 15th? Just the 15th. Right, but the Feast on Unleavened Bread comes the day after, starts the day after on the 16th. And that's going to be held in Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th. Okay? Remind Akim and Akwatim to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that,